2, 1. Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and we have gathered here once again today and tonight. We are going to talk about the 1993, and this is quite an infamous movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie. Now, this is going to be quite interesting because this is regarded as probably one of the worst movies of all time, but then aren't most video game movies. This absolutely bombed at the box office. Nintendo thought Mario can't fail. Mario is such a big gaming brand, and it was still at this point, and it always has been. And they thought, oh, this can't fail. It's got Mario on it. Surely it's going to be a success with audiences around the world. Comes out and it completely bombs, and it was way over budget. It had a lot of disaster in the background, which I'm sure we'll go into, with all the actors hating it and hating the producers and stuff like that. But let's go into opening thoughts, and let's go to Lee, since he's there rubbing his moustache.
Well, I sat down at the beginning of the week and watched this movie, and it's, to be honest, I remembered it as being a god-awful movie back then, and rewatching it this week, it's not as bad as I remember. There is some good bits, and for me, and I think I know for Alan as well, Bob Hoskins steals the show, which is a shame really, because everybody knows he hated the movie. It's the worst thing he's ever done.
He was drunk.
He was drunk all the way through it. Yeah, that's the only way he could get through the shooting the movie. And as Alec mentioned in the intro, there was rewrite after rewrite after rewrite, sending the scripts to Bob Hoskins. He sent them back because they were awful. He didn't want to do another kids movie after Roger Rabbit, because I think he was quoted as saying he didn't want to become the modern day Dick Van Dyke. And you can see where he was coming from. But in the end, he gave in and he did it. But the problem is with this movie is they had so many rewrites. The sets had already been built. The rewrites didn't suit the sets, but they couldn't do anything about it. It's a fantasy adventure, supposedly a prequel to the games. So this was happening before. I mean, I know Ali's going to say a lot about this, but it was supposed to be set before the games happened, apparently. So there's little nods here and little nods there to the games. That's Bob Hoskins. Yeah, Dennis Hopper. He was just doing Dennis Hopper, as Dennis Hopper does best, as he did best, just play himself. But the other cast members, the acting from some of those was not so good. I mean, you even had the actor playing Luigi, John. I can't even say his last name. John
Louisiamo.
That's the one. I mean, he's a fine actor, but in this, this was one of his early movies, but I'll always treasure him as the voice of Sid the Sloth in Ice Age, because he's the voice of Sid. Some of the acting, there was even the British actress Fiona Shaw in it, but I don't know, it just didn't gel. It just didn't gel, because I think it's because of the rewrites, to be honest. But it's not as bad as my memory perceived it to be honest. So that's my opening thoughts.
But the rewrites, because I said I was going to be 5 minutes late. Well, I was actually watching a behind the scenes video of this. You have these YouTube channels that go behind the scenes and break down what's going on. And what was happening was, you say about the rewrites. Well, they were filming and they were getting rewrites while they were filming, and Bob Hoskins and that was saying, "Oh, we didn't even bother to look at them. We just went on there and just said whatever suited that. They made up whatever suited that scene." He said they didn't even bother to read the script by the end of it. He just said they just went along with it. Didn't even bother.
They just gave it. They gave in.
Yeah, they gave in. They completely gave in. And what they did as well, because they hated the production team, the directors, because there was 2 directors, wasn't there? They hated them, and they used to wear T-shirts. Come on set wearing T-shirts with bad quotes that the directors would say to them, and they used to wear it under their costume. Yeah, but they'd wear it under their costume. So the directors were apparently really nasty to the staff. And there's one incident where apparently the one director threw hot coffee over one of the extras and walked away and just said, "Oh, it's just an extra." Honestly, you should watch that. I was going to send you that behind the scenes video.
I'm going to have to watch this now.
Yes.
Yeah, send it to us later.
Yeah, no, I will do. Yeah, let's go to Susan and Alex, our friends across the pond. What do the Americans think of this film? You're speaking for America now, guys.
Okay, we're speaking for America. Well, America kind of thought that the movie was a really silly, really disjointed piece of film. There were some really cool parts in it. I really wish that Mario and Luigi had eaten the mushroom as they do in the game, because that would have been a trip. But
He should have grown bigger.
Yeah. There was some things needed that weren't part of it. I mean, the car chases with those police cars weren't Super Mario Kart, which is honestly, to be really revelatory here, it is the only game I have actually really played as a gamer at all.
I love Super Mario Kart.
That is like the only game, and so the rest of it was bizarre because I'd seen the games, and I didn't see the games in this.
No, it's nothing like the game. No, it is 100%. As somebody plays all the Mario games, it is nothing like the Mario games. In fact, the only similar aspects really in this to the Mario games is Bob Hoskins, who does feel like Mario. You know, Hopkins does feel like Mario. And the other things are like the bombs and stuff like that. You know, the bar bomb, which they are in the game itself. You know, they're in the games, but nothing else doesn't represent Mario in any shape or form, really.
Yeah. Well, the other issue is, you know, I was reading it as well, and apparently they wanted to re-edit it. They couldn't do it in time. Dennis Hopper was only supposed to be there for 5 weeks. He ended up being 13 or 17. So, I mean, again, unless you kind of only like the costume, I guess, because even I've played Mario, and he's more of a Italian stereotype than it is in this movie. And I understand they didn't want to do that. But then they're trying to make it like Ghostbusters and Wizard of Oz, and then they have a nightclub. And they have this woman punching Mario and all these other.
Can I just say the boob scene?
Yeah,
was not appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, so
his face in her boobs.
Yeah, I mean, it's all over the place. So it's like, and I understand.
Well, he was there. I agree.
Yeah, and I understand that, you know, it's difficult, but it just doesn't gel. It's Ghostbusters and other Wizard of Oz and other films made more sense, and they were even trying to be more wild than the Super Mario Brothers, and it still didn't make any sense. So I understand that they wanted to try to, you know, make it maybe somewhat adult, but then they shouldn't have put it for kids.
But I've got an explanation for that, because it was going to be more wild and it was going to be more out there.
Right.
However, Nintendo decided we're getting a bit of cold feet about this. We're getting a bit worried about this, and they scaled it back.
Right.
So they made sure it wasn't as wild and out there as it probably was going to be. Huh?
Yeah. Well, the other issue too, unfortunately, is that's the other problem with the video game universe is they can come up with good ideas, but they also have games that don't make any sense. Like a lot of the stuff they've tried to do for Sonic, I know that's a different company. A lot of fans just don't like. So I think that's the question
Don't,
here. Yeah.
don't diss Sonic movie
I
video.
know, I love Sonic, I do. But
Can
I
I just say
also,
something? Can I just say
but
something?
yeah.
No, carry on, carry on. I'll say why I
But I
don't
mean,
think
I
so.
like Star Fox too, but that doesn't mean I want a movie. You know, and the thing is, if it's animation, it probably should stay animated. That probably would be a safer bet.
But wait. You're talking about. You
Yeah,
see, now that there is a new Mario movie coming out, and
right,
it's going to be CGI. And
right.
back then, if CGI technology was available then as it is now, this would have just been a CGI Mario movie, like any
Yeah,
CGI movie. It would have been like Toy Story. It would have been like
right.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
So the shame of it is that they have a great cast, and the visual effects are actually good, and even the dialogue isn't horrendous. But the problem is it's all over the place. So one minute it's comedy, next minute it's satire, next minute it's a parody again, next minute it's trying to be for kids. And the thing is, you have to be very, very clever. And this is just not clever. It's not, it's, I don't know. I don't know if they assume that somebody just wants to turn off their mind completely. I don't know. It just was all of, and I usually like something that's all over the place, but I mean, even after I watched it, I said, and what was the point of all that? I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? It's just like,
I
did you
often
just
think
say,
this about these
yeah,
casts. I
do
often
they,
think that about these
no,
casts.
no,
And
but
like,
I'm saying
what was the point of that?
there's no point to this at all. It's,
Yeah, so I
they
agree
don't,
with you.
yeah, I mean, they don't explain Princess Daisy. They don't explain the connection between the dinosaurs. So even if it's a cute idea that
Yeah,
the
but
costume,
Alex, I don't even get the dinosaur thing to begin with because
right.
Bowser in the video games is not a dinosaur.
Yeah, so
I
that's
don't get
another
the
thing.
whole why Bowser's a dinosaur.
Right.
Bowser doesn't even look like Bowser.
Yeah, so I mean the whole, you know, and then and I've tried watching this with even other people, and they go, were they high or something? What's going on? I mean, how many people made this movie? 500? Yeah, how many people? 500? Because it's like it doesn't make. They'd rather watch Howard the Duck than this movie.
Oh,
You know, I mean, so
can I
it's a
just?
shame. The dialogue isn't bad necessarily. The cast is actually good, and the special effects were good. But then they have tons of directors. They don't get along. Nintendo couldn't make up its mind what it wanted to do. The cast is there forever. It's all over the place. There's almost no narrative. And then there's no development. So it's kind of like, and then they tried to imitate pre-Marvel before it was Marvel with the cousins trying to get a video game or a movie, and Mario and Luigi going off again.
And then there was the whole thing with like the I mean it was like Brazil. I mean the director was like trying to channel some of that Terry Gilliam attitude, but he was just like not gaining it. I mean it wasn't he wasn't nailing it anyway.
Yeah, so if you want to watch a movie that's just like, you know, let's have 10,000 ideas and they're not done well, and there's no plot development, and there's no character development, and we're trying to have 5,000 scenes at once, then this is a great movie. But if you want something that actually makes any coherent sense, that has any tone at all, that is enjoyable, this movie doesn't make it. And I understand that, you know, it's not going to be coherent. But even so, I mean, there were other movies that were better. Popeye and other movies that actually made more sense, that were coherent, even if they didn't follow the original source material, or barely. You know what I mean? But there's so many other movies that they followed the material better than this, and that's the thing. It's barely so bad it's good category, because I only know a few fans that actually like, you know, this movie and defend it, but not many. I know more Howard the Duck fans than fans of this movie.
Oh, you're in trouble then. But it's like everything in this film, because it's called the Super Mario Brothers, but you've got the Goombas. They look nothing like them. I mean, seriously, Goombas in the actual game with these little tiny things, these squishy things with little feet, and Mario jumps on them to kill them. And in this, these great big bulking men with tiny heads. And have you seen Toad in this game? I mean, that's not Toad. I mean, this is one, because I haven't seen this film for donkey's years. I think I actually haven't seen it since I was a kid, and I think I actually thought to myself then, I'm never ever going to watch this movie again in my life, because as a Mario fan, I expect a Mario movie to be a Mario movie, and Bowser's not Bowser. Yoshi, okay, Yoshi's still a dinosaur. But yeah, it was just so it's not Mario. It isn't Mario, but Bob Hopkins is Mario. I believe him as Mario, but everybody else and everything else around it is not Mario. I mean, why not set it in the Mushroom Kingdom with? I know it's meant, like Lee says, meant to be a prequel, whatever. But no, it just doesn't match up because, like I say, Bowser's not a dinosaur. Bowser's not T-Rex. But when did that happen? Bowser's a turtle. And Ethan, I want to say, Mario beats Sonic, Ethan. Let's go to... I'm sorry about that. I tell you, the new Mario game, Mario Odyssey, phenomenal.
Played it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Love it. I love both of them equally.
I'll tell you what, the Mario movie might not be good, but I'll tell you what, Nintendo never fails when it comes to their Mario games. And they've knocked out the park big time with Odyssey, the best Mario game. Go on, Ethan.
I remember seeing this trailer when the trailer came out, and I thought, this isn't Super Mario. This looks like Super Mario on steroids. But we just saw the trailer back then. We didn't know anything before the internet. We all thought it looked cool. We were hyped for it. So I remember me and my mates went to the cinema to see it, and as soon as it started, it plays the music. And we thought, oh, this is cool. It's got the theme. A long time ago, there was dinosaurs, and I'm like, have the movies just got mixed up? What's going on? And then it's like, were they all destroyed in a parallel universe? I'm like, what? And then, of course, as you said, there used to be, before I go into it, there was a cartoon of Super Mario, and Bowser was in it, but they actually changed his name into King Koopa. And I had remembered the cartoon where he's like called like, I'm King Koopa. And so when he came on, I knew, like they said, oh, it's Koopa. But I'm like, why is he a human? He's meant to be a half turtle, half dragon thing. This big chubby thing. But then he comes in like Dennis Hopper. But I mean, it does have nods. I think over the years I have seen worse movies. So like watching it now, it's not as bad as I thought it was. It's still a bad movie. It is. But and there's all these weird nods like toward the game, which fair enough. But it was I always felt like watching this again, it's like it just became something different. And I forget that it's a Super Mario movie. It's meant to be a Super Mario movie, but they chuck in all these sound effects and references, like the nightclub's called the Thwomp nightclub, and in the game, Thwomp is a big brick that slams onto you and crushes you. Big Bertha, the woman in the red leather, the big woman, Big Bertha's a piranha. So I'm like, right, okay. And the cartridges in the boots are bullet bills because they've got the little faces like that. I'm like, it's like trying to remind us this is a Super Mario movie. Doesn't look like it. But and then of course you got the sound effects. There was one bit where Cooper's talking to a cop on the TV on the security, like, "Oh, the plumber's been found yet?" And you can hear in the background the sort of like the noises, the sound effects from the video game. But it's a weird movie. You know, like even I remember watching the cinema when Toad comes on. You know the law, Toad? That's Toad! So he's not this little mushroom saying, your princess is in another castle. And I was like, okay, all right. The only best part for me, anybody who knows me, Lee knows this, I'm a big Bob Hoskins fan. I love Bob Hoskins. I've loved him since watching his film in the 80s. He was great as Super Mario. He could pull off. And even though he didn't like being on the film, he always came on the set drunk and he despised the movie. But he was actually a good Mario. I could believe him. Even when he got the red costume on, near the end, like the red and blue costume on, he looks like Mario. That was the funny part. The whole film looked different, but he looks like Mario. And I did like the little ba-bomb thing. I thought that was quite cute and funny. But yeah, it's a very, I've seen worse, but it is like just a weird, strange movie that just somehow has the Super Mario title on it. But I'm looking forward to the animated film. Hopefully.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, which is coming out next year. Is it done by Illuminations?
I think it is actually.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that actually.
But these days, we could probably get a decent. We have had decent video game movies. Some
have we?
Well, a lot of them are rubbish, and they overshadow everything. One or two, I think, were somewhat decent. Not absolutely amazing, but just decent.
Like Mortal Kombat. Yeah, Mortal Kombat wasn't horrendous. It was still a little off.
I mean, back in the 90s, we had like a string of weird movies. It was like I call it the dark age of movies, where we'd always got like a bad movie at summer. And it was a lot of video game or a bad comic book movie.
Well, Tomb Raider wasn't horrible, usually. And what was the other one? Street Fighter with Raul Julia and... Was it Van Damme or was it?
Yeah,
like five. I felt like it was 5 versions or something. I don't know.
Well, anyway, have you got anything more to add, Ethan? Was that?
That's pretty much my sum of the movie and stuff. I mean, it was just back in the day where we had some bad movies, and it was just trying to do something different. These days, can be better. I'm hoping the Super Mario movie, the new cartoon film, will be good. But if it's animation, they can't go wrong with it, surely. It's a cartoon Super Mario. You could do anything you want with a cartoon. So, but that's my sum up of the movie.
Lee doesn't seem so convinced, do No, I agree with Ethan. I mean, it's Super Mario, but it's really bizarre because it's just loads of references and nothing feels like Super Mario apart from Mario, basically. But actually, I do like the chemistry between Mario and Luigi in this. They may have been drunk the entire time filming it, but in a weird way, I kind of felt like they were having fun, even though I know it was a disastrous production and the film somehow managed to get itself together. But I have to say, I've really enjoyed watching it. I really enjoyed watching it. I did. I watched it this morning, and I watched it the whole way through, and I was really entertained by the whole thing. And I know it's not a Mario film, and I know it's not the best, most complicated story and the best acting, but I'll tell you what, it's not as bad as people say. It's not as bad as people make out. And I think if you sit down and you watch it, even if you're a Mario fan like myself, if you put to the side that it's not actually Mario, I think it is a pretty fun watch, and it's part of Mario's history, and I think it's entertaining. I think it's great that Mario has this really bizarre film that we can all look back on and go, oh wow, that's strange, because that's what it is. it's strange. And I like strange. That's why I'm here. We're strange people who live on the internet in these little tiny boxes that they can't get out of. Help us. See, I like strange. So I like this film, and I think it gets too much hate. And I'll tell you what, because we've had certain members that haven't watched this film, but have claimed it's rubbish. They've only said it's rubbish because they've been told by other people that it's rubbish. But I'll tell you what, you watch this film and you make your own mind up. Because I think a lot of people bash on these films that are regarded as bad, but then when they go to watch them, they find out, you know what, it's not that bad after all. And actually, it's quite a fun film. It's a bit, it's daft. It's a bit silly. But that's what Mario is, isn't it? Mario's a bit daft and silly. So in a way, it does capture Mario in a very strange way.
Well, no, I
agree. I totally agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, I could understand even.
Let me put it like this. Mario is strange anyway. Mario is a strange video. When you think about it, Mario is a strange video game.
It's about a plumber from Brooklyn who gets sucked into another world, a magic fantasy world of talking mushrooms,
and he's squashing Goombas. He jumps on
Goombas, killing these Goombas, stomping on them, collecting coins, shooting fireballs. It's
a strange video game, and this is a strange movie.
Gets to every castle, and there's always Toad that peeves everybody off.
And he has to jump on a flag.
Next level.
And he has to jump on a flag and fly and slide down the flagpole. It's a strange video game, and this is a strange movie. So in a way, it is like Mario. Mm-hmm. It's just Mario is a movie which is strange.
Okay, but there's a difference between good and weird, strange in a good way, and this barely
no. I think
barely is.
I think it's fun, and I think it's a fun part of geek culture and of Mario culture. I think you can look back at it, and it's an interesting film to watch. It's an interesting film to discuss because there's so many opinions about it, and I think that makes it even more fun. I think it makes it even more fun that it's so bizarre. And we're having this big, long discussion with just a few of us. And
so many.
We're enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, it may be weird, and it may be not gelling correctly. Fun, that might...
I think the main two, the leads, do gel well together.
Yes.
I think they do work together. I like them.
No, the ironic part is that it actually is a good cast.
Yeah.
But the problem is the plot, the structure, the tone, and then how they jump from scene to scene is worse than a video game because it barely makes sense. I understand it's not going to make complete sense. I understand that, but it's just so disjointed, and I don't know.
Can I just say? Yeah, but the Mario video games don't make sense.
What?
Have you
but you know,
I'm still wondering since the first game, how did Mario end up in the Mushroom Kingdom in the first place?
Mario the video game.
It's like, what the?
None of the games make any sense. This is what people are getting confused. This is Mario. It's not meant to make sense.
Okay, but there is a difference between a video game goal or a video game level and an actual story. And that's the problem. They did tack on a story here, but then it barely makes sense even in the context of a video game. Because in a video game, you're supposed to have goals and levels. And I understand that they tried. The problem is the execution is really bad. So even the recent version of Jumanji makes more sense in this movie.
I do like
not perfect sense, but more sense. Yeah.
I like the new Jumanji, by the way.
Yeah.
It's Chad. Was Susan going to say something, or are you just putting the microphone?
Are we doing favorite parts?
Yes. Favorite moments. Yes, fire away. Yes.
Okay.
I know my favorite moments. So I hope nobody takes it.
My favorite moment was was when they were using their tools to fix the plumbing, to actually doing plumbing. That was sort of fun, to change like the King's Castle. And I also like the bit where he is where they are meeting the Princess Daisy's dad. I thought that was really trippy. And I wish they would have eaten the mushrooms. And I just heard it referenced in the Goldbergs where they call them, what do they call them? The immigrant
the immigrant space plumbers.
Yeah,
like
the
that.
outer space immigrant plumbers.
Yeah.
And and they were talking about this movie, and I was like, really? That's funny.
Yeah. No, like I said, it is a great cast, and the special effects are actually good for its time. So, I mean, if that's a favorite, that's fine. As far as actual, no, not really.
No moments?
Yeah, I mean, there's moments, but the thing is, it's not enough.
Yeah, but that's what moments, is it?
Yeah, but it's not. It's not enough to carry. Yeah, but it's barely enough to carry it.
But do you have any moments that you liked?
Yeah, I mean, the cast is good.
No, I
but,
don't mean the cast.
No, a moment, like a scene.
I mean,
a scene that you like.
Yeah, I mean, no, I can't really think of.
Oh.
I can't really think of a coherent scene.
Okay.
I mean, it's just sort of.
That's okay.
Like
are you thinking about it too much?
Yeah,
Alan?
I mean, no, but I mean, this really could have been good if they had actually had a really good story, but it's just like a tacked on plot. It's trying to be a movie, a cartoon, an adult movie, a kid's movie. It's all, and that would be great if it had a point, but it's kind of like, okay, well, I understand the goal, I guess, is to save Daisy and to get the rock, but okay, so that gels in a way with a video game. But the way they did it, and then they got the adult nightclub, and they have all these.
Well, do you know what? They meant to be strippers. It was meant to be a stripper club.
Right, they couldn't.
And then they were told they can't do that, so they had them dancers.
Right. Well, that's the other question too. Is that how if they couldn't even re-edit it? So the thing is, maybe this would have been 100 times better if it had been edited in a coherent way.
Okay.
It'd have been 100 times better if it was strippers. Anyway, that's what Alex says. As soon as I'm talking, a missed opportunity in this film. Blink and you miss him. Lance Henriksen as the king at the end.
Yes, the very, very end. Yes.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, a brilliant actor, and that's all they used him for is that little scene. It's but I mean, for me, I do like the club scene and all that. I mean, I think it's because they was using 80s re-recorded music in it, but Walk the Dinosaur. But there is a scene in this where is it the Goombas?
Goombas, yeah.
Goombas, the dancing Goombas in the lift.
I took my. That's I like the dancing Goombas in the lift. I loved it.
I was going to mention that as well.
Oh, you took it, Lee. You took. I love it. I love that. They're all in the lift, just swaying back and forth.
And then they start dancing together, don't they?
I love it. I love that scene. I really do. That is my favourite scene throughout the movie. That just gives that takes this film. That takes this film just so much more higher in my level. That really does. That scene. It cracks me up. I love that scene.
It's when the door opens and he's standing there, the leader of them. He goes, "Hey!"
Yeah, it's. I do like the Goombas, but they start dancing anyway. They start dancing in other scenes as well that they're in. Oh God, that was really good. Anyway, let's go to Ethan. Even though we already know his favourite moment. And you already know my favourite moment as well, because Lee's
pretty much. That one was just mentioned. The Goombas dancing in the elevator.
It's hilarious.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's even a bit like.
Do you know what? I actually wound that back to watch it again.
That is such a great bit. It's even later in the final fight. Cooper's going, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, I told you they're going like this. Yeah.
And they're all in a line going.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They do it. They do it a few times. Yeah.
And then Cooper just punt like, "You stupid!" And they go dum dum dum.
No, I love it. I love it. I really do.
That bit. I mean, those bits, all the dancing bits in one go is just brilliant. But what are the other bits? The nightclub has already been mentioned by Lee, but I do like that bit, like the 80s music. I love that stuff. And the bit where he's trying to get the rock from Big Bertha, like trying to grab it, and then they're chucking it all over the place, trying to prevent the Goombas from getting it. I thought the car chase was a bit fun. You know, the whole bit where they're breaking out and like running out, the chemistry throwing off each other was good fun. And I did enjoy like the whole fight at the end, like Mario saving the girls, and they go down the pipe, which I think
on the mattress.
Yeah, which I think was meant to be a reference to the warp
pipes. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Warp pipe from the games, which I knew that.
It should have been green though.
Yeah, but of course it's all snow and grey.
Yeah.
But we'll go there. It's a movie. What else? And the fight at the end was pretty fun. Mario versus Koopa. And there's a bit actually talking about Mario eating mushrooms. I don't know if this was meant to be a reference, but I always thought it, where they get to New York, their worlds have combined, but then of course Luigi breaks the connection and Koopa goes, "Oh no," and they materialize back into the dinosaur world. But while they're in Brooklyn, when they disintegrate, Mario looks like he gets big and then he disintegrates. He gets bigger than Koopa. If you watch it, he suddenly just grows big and then disintegrates. So I thought, there's a missed opportunity. We saw him big, but just briefly. But those are pretty much my favorite moments. But the dancing one.
Oh, I love the dancing. I just adore the dancing. It's hilarious. I hope they bring them back in the animated film of the Goombas.
I can see that. Yeah, make a reference to like the little bits.
Yeah, I do that.
Little mushroom Goombas, and they go. Okay,
but you know when Mario and Koopa, I hate calling him Koopa, he's Bowser. When Mario and Bowser are in the real world, in the outside world, he's going to shoot Mario, but Mario holds up a little tiny mushroom, and Bowser fires at that mushroom exactly. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
He's got this great big gun. He's got this great big massive gun with this massive ray, and Mario's got this little dinky mushroom. Bowser manages to fire at the mushroom, and yeah. Oh. So that no, but I think that's part of the fun of it. You see, I think all these things are part of the fun of it. I know Alex might think that they're, that they're wrong and they're not very good, but I think it's part of the fun of it. Anyway, anybody else have anything to say? No? Is that it? Then I think we should go to final say and score, and we're going to go Susan and Alex, because Susan's ready.
All right. I guess I'll give this a 6.57 out of 10. I mean, I love Dennis Hopper. I have Blue Velvet. I enjoy him in pretty much everything he does. And Bob Hoskins is great and stuff, but this was not, it wasn't quite Gilliam enough for me. Terry Gilliam needs to, I mean, we've been watching a lot of his stuff and Jabberwocky and all this other fun stuff. And I'd prefer him over the producers of our Super Mario Brothers. But that's just my opinion on the subject. So,
but the question is, did you like the dancing Goombas?
Oh, okay, I did. That was cute.
I love the dancing Goombas.
Okay, that's true.
I do love the dancing Goombas. You're going to watch this just for the dancing Goombas.
All right.
With their little
Lee is doing a really nice dancing Goomba, and there goes Ethan, and And here we go. Let's do the dancing Goomba.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy. Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
Let's everybody do the dancing Goomba.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather be watching Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or some other movie. Like I said, I wasn't expecting perfection, but wow, I mean, this is way off. And it's a shame because it's good cast, good music, good special effects, but just I don't know. I don't know if they had 10 people couldn't make up their minds. I don't know if the directors just couldn't settle on anything. I just don't know. But I mean, there's so many other movies that are more enjoyable, more plausible. And it's a shame too because, like I said, it wasn't actually bad dialogue either. But I guess they were trying to be too ambitious, or they were trying to combine too many elements. And I'm all for in jokes, and I'm all for putting in elements, but it just doesn't work here.
You said the dialogue wasn't bad.
Yeah,
but they weren't very original.
Yeah, no,
with Mario and Luigi's name.
Right.
What's your name? Mario. What's your name? Luigi Mario.
I know. So yeah. So
here. Here's we need an obligatory Boston reference for every podcast.
Yes, we do. Yes.
All right. Well, I was on the bus and I saw a little van going by that said Mario and Luigi's Plumbing, and there is a Mario and Luigi's Plumbing here in Boston.
Oh, that's excellent.
I've got another Boston related thing about this movie.
Oh, we don't want to know. We're only interested in seasons.
One of the actors who plays one of the cousins in this, his brother sells olive loaves from a hut in Boston.
Yeah, they probably do. They probably do.
He resides in Boston, sells olive loaves.
Yeah, so I mean, there is, there's a lot of Boston references if you do, research. Like the female Ghostbusters was primarily
surely it deserves a higher score then because of the Boston references.
No, not exactly.
I think it does, Alex.
But only because of the cast and the
no, Alex.
Music.
The dancing Goombas. No, the dancing. Come on, the dancing.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Only because of the cast, I'm going to give it a 7.5. That's it.
That's pretty high, actually.
Gave a higher score than me.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Let's go to Ethan.
Yeah. Actually, forgot to mention about it does have a good soundtrack. It does have good music, and I've always liked the song at the end credits. Almost Unreal by Roxanne. Was it Roxanne? It was Roxanne, wasn't it? Roxette. Sorry. Thank you. I was waiting for you because I thought he'll know his music. Was it Roxette? Thank you. But I always did like that song. But good song. Bob Hoskins as Mario, brilliant. And I know we've mentioned this 100 times. When I watched this film, I thought I'm going to give it a bit of a low rating, but...
Oh, come on, you got to give it a high rating for the dancing Goombas. You got to give it,
The Goomba, as soon as that Goomba thing happened again, my memory clicked, and I was like, yep, you get a high rating. I'm going to give you a 7.8. Just for that bit.
There we go.
I just
really, to be honest, if this was an hour and 44 minutes of dancing Goombas, I think I would give this film a 10. I think all I want.
Every movie should have a reference from now on. Every movie, even if it's dead, oh, I've lost you. Do the dance.
Yeah, every film should have dancing Goombas in.
A dance reference.
In the lift. And it's played like this.
A serious killer movie. I'm coming you with an axe.
See, the fun that, if you don't watch these things and you just listen to what other people say, some people in our group haven't watched this film and they've had 3 weeks to watch this film and they've chosen not to watch it. And look how much fun we're having. They could be having over dancing Goombas.
That's the thing. I've met people where they say, like, oh, this film is rubbish. This film's... Have you actually watched it? Well, no. Somebody told me it was rubbish. Well, shut the hell up and go and watch it for yourself. You know, but look at
How
us.
do you know with an accent like that? You must know some very strange people.
I don't speak like this all the time. But no, like you said, we just have fun just for that one Goomba scene. Who'd have thought? One blooming scene, and we're having a great laugh about it.
Oh, when it came on, I was just in hysterics because it slowly builds up because Mario's making
like,
the move along, isn't it? And I said,
what? Just wait. He's like, what are you doing? Just on Louisiana was like, yeah, look at them. And then slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's dance. Oh, no.
You can see the new series of Strictly Come Dancing this year. Sorted. Strictly Come Dancing this year.
You can see, yeah. You got the guy.
He's going to say something.
Oh.
She's prepared.
The other thing that's really interesting is that there is an unwritten law or unwritten rule about elevator etiquette in New York City, which is different from really anywhere else in the world. Is that when you're in an elevator in New York, you go to the back of the elevator, you file in, and you turn and you face the elevator door, and you never talk to anyone. And so the Dancing Goombas was basically a slap in the face to New York City elevator etiquette. It's funny.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Lee, final
Yes.
score.
Right, as I said at the beginning of this, what was it? We're on a cast. It's not as bad as I remember, and people in the cast have to watch. Be careful, is it a Goomba? It's not as bad as I remember. As Ali pointed out, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's not a classic movie. We know that, and I will agree with what Ali said. If people watch these things with their own eyes and not just listen to other people's opinions, make up their own opinion while watching it, and that's what this is what this group is about.
Just
so
watch
my
it for
score
what
on
it
this,
is.
watch it, yeah.
Yeah,
Get
watch it for
involved.
what it is.
But it's still not a good movie. So it has got its flaws. We know it's got its flaws. I'm giving it an 8.
An 8's a good score.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. An 8's a good score. I mean, you know what? I don't know why, but I completely forgot about the Dancing Goombas. I think the first time I watched this film when I was a kid, I was just so disappointed that it wasn't a Mario film. But now I watch it and I just think, what a lot of fun. And it's an interesting film to watch. And it's actually an interesting film to watch what happened behind the scenes. So it's interesting on all levels. And it's good for geek culture. It's good for things that we do and things that we talk about. Because there's lots of things to talk about with this. You know, like I say, there's only been a few of us here tonight. But we've had such fun talking about it and such a good conversation about it, you know, and gone in depth in the behind the scenes and what we think of the film. And, I think this film is hated upon by probably people who, one, haven't watched it in years, and two, haven't watched it at all and just heard bad things about it. Lee's actually... That might become a thing for Lee. Lee's enjoying himself there. Great for the hemorrhoids. Ethan's got them as well now. It's spreading. I do. You know what? I thought, oh no, the Super Mario Brothers film. And in fact, when I think we when we announced we were going to do this film, I said this was going to be interesting because it's so bad. But I tell you what, I honestly enjoyed the whole thing. And okay, it's not a great movie, but I tell you what, if I had to rate it on enjoyment, I'm going to give this a special score. If I had to rate this on enjoyment, I would give it a 10. I'd give it a 10 if I had to rate this on enjoyment, because I absolutely enjoyed the whole thing. There's so much to talk about. Yes, it's not Mario, but in a way, it is Mario. But that's what makes it even more enjoyable, is parts that are Mario, but parts that aren't Mario, but yet it kind of makes sense being a Mario film and making no sense because the video games themselves make no sense. So it kind of fits. But as a film, I'm still going to give it an 8. It's 10. I mean, honestly, I'd give it a 10 just for the dancing Goombas. But I have to take the rest of the film into account, and I'm going to give it an 8. But it was really enjoyable, and I definitely recommend, if you haven't seen this film and you haven't watched it because you've heard what other people have said about it, bad things, you know, in life, you've got to watch things for yourself. You know, as humans, we get so much into trouble that we've caused ourselves because we don't view things ourselves. We listen to other people. We listen to what other people say and follow what they say, but we don't go ourselves and watch it or listen to it and form our own opinion. Don't listen to what other people say. Form your own opinion. You know, this is a fun movie. It really genuinely is. And that's all I've got to say on it. I'd like to thank everybody here for joining me, because this one's been one of the best casts we've done, I think. I've really enjoyed myself on this cast. I'd like to thank you for watching. Tell us below what you think of the Mario Brothers movie. Tell us your favorite moments. Hit that subscribe button. Look after yourself. Take care. And we will see you next time.